Welcome to the Thirsty Business Podcast. Today we have a little love letter to Detroit and to our technicians. Just so you guys know that you're not alone out there, we brought in one of my best friends, former boss, husband to my best friend, Jim Bonnell, owner of World Beverage. He's a technician in Detroit where he spent his entire career, and at one point he was my boss. I also have my brother Phil Thomas, former technician, and also my husband Drew Hauke, former draft technician. So come along on a little ride down memory lane. And also, it's a little bit of a worst jobs or dirtiest jobs episode. So I think Mike Rowe would be proud of us describing some of our time that we spent back in Detroit and the challenges that we encountered out in the field. So I say, let's dive in. Welcome back to Thirsty Business, everybody. And I was thinking about this earlier. If a person is a collection of all the people that have had inputs into them, welcome to me. These are the voices in my head.
For good and bad.
For good and for ill, and for draft quality.
Amen.
Yes. So let me do a quick little intro. Of course, we have my brother Phil, who probably will be the longest relationship I have in my life that I mentioned before. Also biochemist by degree only, as he likes to say, but he does understand a lot of science. And I work with him at Draftline. My mentor, my friend, the person who told me stories after I got home from school.
I did.
Still do.
Husband to my best friend since the third grade. Not her husband since the third grade, but husband
That'd
to
be
my best friend
illegal
since
in
the
most
third
states.
grade.
It would be.
Yeah.
Not in Florida.
Started out as best friend to my cousin Dave. This is Jim Bonnell, draft tech extraordinaire, business owner back in Detroit, former boss to me, to Phil, to Drew. You were our boss at one point, Jim.
That's an impressive resume when you put it that way. Doesn't feel that impressive to me, though.
It wasn't impressive.
It was impressive. Okay, so we'll get more into that in a second. And then my partner in all things, Drew. Well, what do I say about you?
He's formerly known as Drew the Liquor Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, on
that's
the
true.
moon.
Had a couple of lives with
That
your
is
family.
true.
On the
over
mean
years.
streets of Detroit, that's
Yes.
true.
Yeah.
But before that, you were a high fashion model.
True, too.
Those days ended quickly when I met your father.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So don't be bitter about that, though. It's okay.
I'm
You
over
got
it.
me out of the
It's a
deal.
package deal.
Yeah.
25 years later, I'm over.
Founded a chemical company,
Yep.
Townsend Chemical, supplier to Micromatic. You have financed all of my crazy ideas. Also, I will credit you with the system builder in Draftline. That was all you.
We laid out all the cards on the
Yeah.
dining room
Literally
table.
index
And I'm
cards.
like, no, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
It worked out so far.
Welcome. Yes. So my partner in all things there. So where do we even start? So Jim, how you have always been to me. Like I don't think I remember a time without you in my life. And so how did that start? How'd you
It
find
goes
your
back
way?
to your cousin.
Dave.
Yeah, I met him we went to high school together, and the actual time we met was at his parents' place. He invited me to come over for Thanksgiving. You guys were all there.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
How old
And-
was Jen?
Oh, God, I don't know.
She was a
Probably.
kid.
I was I wasn't driving yet. Dave came and picked me up, and I was 15.
So I
So,
was about
I don't know.
7?
Long time ago.
yeah.
I just-
Probably 7.
Yeah, I just remember there was a time that Jim just started being at family functions.
Yeah.
So that is funny. You will say that because you're like, contrary to popular belief, I wasn't actually always there.
Yeah.
We always think,
Yeah.
whether it's us or Dave, we always think you were everywhere
Yeah.
we were.
Yeah, and we had that conversation last summer when you said, I forget what you said. I go, I'm not actually part of your family.
Which actually struck me through the heart, but that's all
Yeah.
other.
I'm sorry.
And Drew thinks he's a Bonnell.
Yeah, I did. God.
I don't know if he's
If
rugged
I
enough.
could be adopted by any family.
It would
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, that's the funny thing is Jim has a big family of his own too.
Yeah. So talk about that.
Youngest of 8,
Yeah.
lot of hard charging. Just
Your mom was a saint because
Yeah.
she raised you guys. Your dad
widowed at 38.
When
Yeah.
she was pregnant
with
with you.
8
Yeah,
kids.
no, 9. I was 9 months old.
Okay.
So 9 kids or 8 kids under 9 years.
And your mom was widowed.
She was widowed, yeah. 30. She was 38. My dad died at 42.
That's insane.
This
Yeah,
isn't
it's young.
supposed to be sad, but we're all here today, so it worked out.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, that's talking about how we came together and a little bit who he is. But I guess overall, we deal with technicians in the beer industry and all tentacles into it. We just want to start sharing the stories. We have these guys toiling out in the wilderness, and we've got just funny stories from the past that we think everyone should know about.
And that's the other thing too, is it's kind of a solitary job. And so when Draftline came on the scene and we had, cloud support people and all sorts of things like that interacting with the technicians, there was a lot of hesitation because it is a solitary job. You're out in the field. You're always working remote. And you don't get to interact a lot unless it's people on your team.
You're usually running solo, but I never did. I always rode in his van because I wasn't smart enough to let out on my own.
That's true.
Yeah, those were, we had some good ones, man.
Yeah.
So let's set the scene, Phil. Where'd we grow up?
Well, we grew up, I was born in Detroit. You were born in White Lake, Michigan, which is where we kind of grew up in White Lake.
I was born in Detroit too.
Were you?
Yeah. That's what it says on my birth certificate. I don't remember.
Maybe the hospital.
Detroit.
But yeah, I guess you were born before we moved to White Lake. I was young.
Yeah.
I just remember being at Grandma and Grandpa's house when you were off being born.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. But then, we grew up in the country and we grew up in
that was truly country.
Yeah.
You guys moved out there.
You could hunt duck on the lake on White Lake when we first moved out there.
Yeah, so your dad was working downtown.
Yeah, he was Detroit.
He was working for someone else at the time.
An hour drive back
56 miles.
Expressway.
56 miles from their house to where his place was.
Well, and that actually led to me never being afraid to have a long drive to a job. Which
you're always on the road.
Yeah.
As a technician, for sure.
Always on the road.
So, then when we were, I guess I was in high school when Dad started Custom Beverage, broke off and, started doing his own thing. And that's how we got into the business, because it was our dad and we were literally doing things in the basement, in the backyard. How did you actually start in the beverage?
In the beverage business was again from your cousin Dave.
Yes.
And we all worked for your dad.
Yeah.
And I was just at community college in the company that your dad was working for and
our uncle
Dave was working for, your uncle.
Yeah.
And he called me one day and he says, "Hey, we need people. Are you interested?" And I'm like, "Well, I was managing a security team at Rackham Memorial in Detroit."
Okay.
So I was like, yeah, I'll come and do it. And I was like, yeah, I'll go do that. And I'll do that for a couple of years while I go to school. And here we are 41 years later.
How's school going?
I think I have 2 more credit hours to complete. And I should get my associates.
Nice.
Well, and funny enough, there is this amalgamation. There are so many people from southeastern Michigan in the beer business that even some others that went to De La Salle, and that's where you went to high school with my cousin.
That's where I went to high school. Yeah.
And so Tom Fox graduated with which one of his brothers?
Maybe with John.
I think you did mention that. I think it was maybe Bill.
It was Bill.
What's he about? 62, 63, something like that?
Yeah.
I think it was Bill.
Yeah. And so that's
Bill
so
graduated 79, so I think we did talk about that somewhere in that area.
I mean, it's just such a small world. Yeah. So then you started working for my dad. I guess my dad was a little famous for being a hothead.
He was, but he never greased me.
Really?
Greased him a lot.
Greased me a lot.
I deserved it. I deserved it.
Greased him a lot. Greased you a lot. He never greased me.
But that big company, Jen and I started stripping stainless steel parts in our basement as child slave labor.
Yes, we did.
We got paid a nickel a part.
Yes, we did.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's
fair
good.
Money.
Very distinct
back in the 70s. But then I started going during summers and weekends to that company in Detroit, and I worked with you there.
Yeah.
And I just have visions. Greg Zeiter, you, Dave, Mark P. something, and we would be making up conduit lines
Yeah, trunk lines.
And again, I felt abused because I'm this skinny 15-year-old, and here's all these massive men, and they're like, all right, grab this and pull it down 150 feet that way. And I'm dying, and they're just laughing at me.
Now wrap it with saran wrap
And
lube it up.
aluminum foil tape and all this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know that. I think the manufactured trunk housing wasn't even really a thing back then, or very
That's
little.
for
I think, I don't know, maybe
Perlick. Yeah.
at the time.
But when Micromatic started out, there's a guy named Jose. And when they started,
He used to do it.
we still work with Jose to this day. He's amazing. He's up at the central location. He was the guy who was making all the trunk housing.
Yeah.
And then I don't know how they did it before they purchased Valpar.
What
That's a
year
good
do you
question.
think that was?
They were buying it from Valpar.
Yeah, they were buying it from Valpar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because
So
I used to fly out there.
yeah, and so that would be what 2000.
probably
So
around there.
at some point,
Yeah, I think at the
between-
time there was the manufactured trunk housing probably was not out there.
Yeah.
But I mean,
That's what the way we
300,
did it.
400, 500 miles of that stuff.
Oh,
made up.
in my backyard in White
Yeah.
Lake, how many times,
Yeah.
in the middle of the summer, 90 degrees, we're out there sweating our nuts off
Yeah.
doing trunk housing.
who knew we'd name a chemical product after that, and also a mobile application
Right.
called Draftline.
Right.
Oh, I thought the name was Sweating Our Nuts Off.
I was going to say that, but I'm like, what's named that?
Sweating Our Nuts Off?
That would have got a little more attention.
But so
Told you it'd be scary.
there was a big family connection, and you and your brother Mike went and worked there too, right?
Mike went and worked there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's kind of how he got started.
Yep.
And
He
then
needed a job, and there's a job open, so he went to work over there. Yeah.
So one of my funny transition stories, when my dad went off on his own, statute of limitations is far up, you guys would do a little side work for him. He'd have a big install and he'd need help. You, sometimes your brother, sometimes Mike Wojtowicz, I think, would help. And we had this job set up down in Monroe at the Fox Theater.
Fox Club.
Fox
No,
Club
Fox
down in
Club.
Monroe.
Yeah.
It was, I think, 5,000 self-contained coolers, 4-door
It
units.
sure felt like 5,000.
But you guys didn't show up. Why did it feel like that for you?
See, I sure remember pushing
You
those things
remember
up
being
4
there?
stairs.
So it must
4
have been.
flights of
It must have
stairs.
been. We did some, and then you showed up for others. Because I remember one day it was just me and my dad pushing some coolers up there.
Well, listen, I mean, you could hope and wish that was a story, but you didn't do it by yourself.
You were there.
Well,
we all did everything ourselves.
Well,
yeah, that's
by
true.
the way, Phil and I just pushed up a direct drawing unit up the
A
stairs.
single door keg
And I
cooler.
thought I was
Don't
gonna
strain
die.
yourself.
No, we strained. Oh, we strained.
It was kind
And
of funny.
so I said, "Oh my God, this is so hard."
You
And he
did
goes,
that with him?
Yeah, and
That
Charlie
is-
was with
That's
me.
funny you
Oh,
mentioned
okay.
that because that was a nightmare.
Oh, it was horrible. It was
Yeah.
probably eight coolers, back bar
There
coolers.
was there was a lot because
How
the
big were
trailer,
they?
the
Well,
trailer
it
was,
was-
double stacked.
It was about 4 flights of stairs.
It was
straight up.
You went that way, then you went that way, then you went that way.
Yeah,
all the
it
way.
was. I mean,
It was like the nightclub was a top floor of this 4 or 5 story
historic
building.
theater. It was a
And there
typical.
and there was zero freight elevator. There was nothing.
It was a typical Chuck Thomas job. Something no one
I'm
else.
not
No one
even
would
else
sure he
do.
would
was
do
there.
it. Yeah.
No, he was. Yeah. Well, I got a good
You
one. That
remember me not being there. I remember him not being there.
maybe it was just no.
Ah,
But again, it's just one of those things that you just get thrown into a pile of shit and you got to dig your way out.
You gotta do it. Yeah.
yeah, brute force.
Yeah, that was
That
that
one
was
took
a
hot
long
minute.
time ago. That's
Yeah.
probably
I mean, I was a teenager. That was 40 years.
1988, maybe 89.
Yeah,
That
almost
was a
40
great
years.
time.
Yeah.
That was when George Michael's Faith album came out.
Oh, that was a big year for me for sure.
We had the. Well, you
That was a
graduated in
highlight.
'89.
Well, I thought you were talking about George Michael.
No, but we also had the yogurt store
Yeah.
downtown too, and the Pistons were doing great those days. We had
The
the
Bad
Russian
Boys.
Five. We had all that.
Yeah.
All that was going on. There was so much happening around town.
You and Lisa did a little time at the Athens bar, or not the Athens. The what was the other one?
Athena?
That was right across from.
New Parthenon.
New Park.
yeah,
Yeah.
right
New
across
Parthenon.
from the
Yes,
yogurt
we
stand.
did. Yes, Greek Town. Yeah. So
when
we
I
spent a lot of
started
time.
dating Jen, we had a neighbor who worked for the Illich family. And we also had a friend who was a designer. And he had put together a deal where we all had a float.
Yeah.
And he said, just wear my Made in Detroit shirts.
Oh, yeah.
And
Back
Jen-
when it was nothing.
You're right.
Yeah.
And Jen goes, no, I don't want to do it. I said,
I wasn't going to take the
you
day
are
off.
never going to get over this if you don't do
Yeah.
this.
Well, that was when the Wings won the cup.
Yes,
right?
the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
time in God
Yeah.
knows how many years.
Yeah. that
So
was
we
big.
were working at the State Theater that day.
Oh,
When
really?
I was going by, and we walked right out and saw you guys
With the
up on the thing.
Yeah.
Howling Diablos
Yeah, the
or
band
something.
who came up with the song. And the guy was like 5 foot and he'd just stare up at Jen. He was like so happy standing next to her. Oh, that was a great memory.
Yeah.
I mean, that
That
got
was
us
a top
started.
day.
Yeah, that was a top
Yeah.
day.
And you guys were at the State Theater with who? Mike W.
Yeah, Mike and the whole crew. Yeah,
Yeah. There was a lot.
I think
of
you were supposed to
activity.
be in the office dispatching, but you didn't show up that day. We were wondering where you were.
Right.
There you were. Oh,
On TV
wait a
in front of
minute.
a million people.
What? I thought she wasn't coming in today.
Oh, God, that was great.
Well, and it is funny because I had a little bit of a different experience from you guys because I did work in the back office and saw the flow, which ended up coming in super handy later
Exactly.
in the draft line
Yeah.
days. So expediting, and that's what we deal with, a lot of that now and trying to figure out people's flow of information. So
Right.
those were the days.
A lot more advanced.
I also
Yeah, a little more. Yeah, a little more.
but the basis, the premise is kind of similar because you're
Well-
assigning, I call it trips.
Yeah.
Because you used to say, well,
When you-
Ralph's going to take a little trip down to
Yeah, you're gonna
Adrian.
take a trip down. Yeah, trip out to Adrian.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah, what was the name of that place? The
Oh, that
bowling
was,
alley.
in
Those are all
Adrian.
service
no,
calls.
it was
Joe Cools was the
Yeah,
one down
yeah.
there.
Oh,
um,
gosh.
we had the old liquor system in there.
Oh gosh, that was a long way away for.
Yeah.
So then that's, as a technician, we were talking about the difference between the draft guy and
Well,
the beverage man.
yeah, the beer man versus beverage man.
Oh.
Because in Michigan, there's no such thing as just a beer man.
No, it's all crossover. I
Yeah.
mean, pretty much all crossover. The things, but yeah, as far as the actual doing of, I only work on draft beer. That doesn't work.
That in the states where the distributors control the equipment, that's why there's
Only
just beer
draft
men.
people.
Yeah. So it's just a different animal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, we've done soda, liquor, beer, frozen, whatever it is. It's all very similar, but
FCBs. That's what they used to call them. I don't know what they call them
it
anymore.
is, well,
Slushies.
that's
Yeah, the
technical
slushies.
term for it, but
Yeah.
it's just that's
But you needed to know how to rebuild all those systems.
the system itself, but
Yeah.
it's all kind of the same thing. I mean, it's all pressure and
Temperature and pressure.
temperature and pressure is what it all is. Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
And hopefully preventative maintenance.
yeah, that's a key
Like you
point that
said.
gets overlooked quite a bit. But
Yeah.
You get the call on
Also,
Friday, right? That's what you're
well,
talking
I
about.
talked about that
Yeah.
earlier.
That's so
the
true.
call. Something's not been working all week, and then Friday at 3:00, the
Always.
calls
Yeah.
always.
start to come in. You're probably getting some of those right about now. It's Friday at 3:04.
You got one.
That's why I
before we
gave my
came
phone
over.
to Lisa and said, "Go throw it in the ditch."
So speaking of ditches, there was a restaurant. You and I go out to a job.
Did you say ditches or bitches?
Maybe both.
The bitches throwing stuff in the ditches. But one day we're going out to a job, an early install. I think it was a Saturday. So when it's a Saturday, that means there was a Friday night right before it, which
Of
can
course,
be an issue.
Of course.
And I'm, again, this is just stupid shit that happens on the job. I think Mike was there too. You're like, hey, I gotta go take a leak. And there wasn't anyone to let us in the restaurant yet.
It was early.
It was early. And, it was rural. There was woods over here. So you're like, I gotta go handle this. And me and Mike are standing around. We're like, where the hell did Jim go? And like 10 minutes later, you come with like twigs in your hair and leaves coming out of your pockets.
I honestly don't know who you're talking about.
The second
It
time.
is the
But
truth.
you rolled down to a ditch.
It is the truth. The ground gave way. It was the restaurant name was Hillside.
Hillside. There's a reason it was called Hillside.
for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is the truth. And it was not easy to get back up the hill.
Yeah. But that's by the time you were working
I was
actually
wishing
full
you guys
time.
cared enough to come.
Well, we just didn't know where you were. You didn't scream.
I was
The
wishing.
one thing I will say is you did not scream like
I
a
wasn't gonna
girl.
Scream for
I would have.
Now,
No, you're allowed to.
I can think of a job where I did scream like a girl. Do you remember Ann Arbor?
Well, he remembers we were
Yes,
just
yeah.
in Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's still open, but
It is still open.
Yeah. No sports bars ever close in Ann Arbor.
No.
So that's a good one when I know Chuck wasn't there.
No, we actually remember we called him.
We were cussing,
working on
we were
that
cursing
thing.
his
Yeah.
name. Cursing his name.
Absolutely.
So
That was one of the hardest things
That
I
was-
think I've ever done.
What happened?
let me tell you, that's why we're here. Let me tell
Oh,
the
Drew,
story.
I mean, come
I
on.
got places to go.
You got to get caught up here.
But again, the thing
This was
that
in the days before Drew.
Yeah,
the people we
decades
support,
before me.
Yeah,
the people we support, the technicians have to go through this shit. But they should know we have too.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is like dirty
So,
jobs for
It's a,
Yeah.
draft.
I mean, it
Mike
was
Rose should be here right now.
it was a redo of the trunk housing.
Yeah, we're changing lines.
We weren't installing the new towers, just changing the lines.
Change the lines.
Like, all right, change the lines. My dad tells us there's a door, it opens to a crawl space, you crawl to the bar, change the lines, you're good to go. We're like, all right,
Easy.
we do that. That's what we do.
It was
So-
quickly understood that he really didn't look at the whole thing as we started getting back there.
So it was probably a 4-man job.
It should have been.
Massive
And
oversimplification.
it was just me and you.
Yeah.
So we get in the crawl space.
You know, you had to go up that ladder.
Well, you go up a
Top of the
ladder.
ladder, and then
You kind of
shimmy
bend
into the
around.
crawl space.
So what was bad is we get, this is before there were good flashlights with batteries. So we have the
Oh.
trouble light on the cord.
Well, this is
And we're looking
pre-cell
up
phone.
there and we look and there's like this really tight spot where the HVAC stuff goes through. Jim's like, I can't go through there.
That's you, Phil. That's all you.
So
You're
that was kind of a funny thing with our crew. I'm 6'3". I probably weighed 190 pounds at the time, so I was pretty skinny. Everyone
why
else
you
on
were
our
there.
exactly, but I mean, we needed a better mole. We needed a guy like 5'6",
Yeah,
150.
We did need a better mole. Yeah,
Because
everybody needs a good mole.
What we had to do is we had to tie the trunk housing to my belt loop so I could shimmy on the ground, army crawl style. And then as I get in, I find out it's the lair of the spider.
That is
Oh,
true.
God.
It was
It was probably
thousands of spiders.
150-foot crawl,
Yeah.
Ugh.
and you flip the light on, and it was it was like a horror movie for spider webs.
Oh, it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. So I held the light in my hand.
He didn't cry.
No, I screamed like a girl,
He screamed, but he didn't cry.
but not yet.
Were they big?
So
Big enough.
they were all sizes. I mean, literally, I could put the light to the left, and there's 50 spiders right there. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is bullshit. I was scared out of
You
my
didn't
mind.
get bit?
No.
No, they're friendly.
So the worst part
Because I wasn't in there.
They're afraid of the Lebanese.
The worst part was when I had to go through the spot with the HVAC ductwork, I had to literally put my arms as far above my head as I could and like
Yeah.
shimmy with my shoulders.
Yeah, down the side.
So if something crawled on me, I couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, and forget the claustrophobia.
Oh,
Well, I would just like to say that the beer lines are insulated.
yeah.
And so
yeah.
there was nothing
Yes,
permeating.
they were made in the
from
parking
that
lot. They were,
Well-
they were made in your driveway,
When I,
backyard, maybe.
backyard.
yeah. When I get through that, I get to the bar
Oh, God.
and there's a bed of gnats. I don't know how many inches thick because it's a wood slat
I
floor.
don't even
It's
know
just
what a
dripping.
gnat looks like.
It's a little.
It's
fruit
you know,
fly.
the little bugs flying around a bar that's not well kept.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Well, this is like a college bar with a wood slat floor. So every beer that's ever been poured up there.
Going right down in the crawl space.
So it was like a bog. You've seen the bog, at summer camp. It was like that with gnats
Lisa
floating
and I
on it.
walked through
Oh,
a
God.
bog at
Yeah.
Camp Oasa in the 5th grade. Yes, we did.
So it was a horseshoe
Why'd you
shaped
do
bar.
They made us.
Yeah. It's a horseshoe shaped bar and the lines go up in the middle of it. And below it is this bed of gnats. I'm like, I
Beer
can't
lives.
do it. I can't do it. So there's a big PVC pipe drain
I
coming
was
down.
kind of wondering why you were
Taking so
trying
damn
so
long.
bad. Come on, you're there. Just push it up.
So what I ended up doing is there's this PVC pipe running on the ground. I'm like, that's above the net.
How did you get back out?
Well, I haven't gotten the lines there yet. We're not even
Carried
there
his
yet.
ass out.
Yeah, I had to go in and get them.
You did?
No.
Oh, I roped around his ankle and pulled.
So it probably took me 15 minutes to make that crawl
Yeah.
Oh,
of
no.
150 feet
Yeah,
with the lines hooked to my belt loop.
That was a nasty.
So I literally have one foot on solid ground. It's a yoga pose, side plank. I have one foot on the ground.
That's where the side plank pose came from.
Yes, little known.
He
That's the
sold
only
it.
pose
He
that's
sold
not
it
from
after he
India.
got out.
Yogi Phil.
Yeah.
I have one hand on that pipe, one foot on the ground, and I'm trying to fish that line up the PVC hole of the gym. And the biggest spider I've ever seen is on that pipe I'm holding onto right next to my face. I screamed like a little girl.
You did. I
And
do
Jim's like,
remember that
dude,
now.
you okay?
I do remember that.
I'm like, no.
It's like, oh my God, there's a daddy long legs down here.
No, I didn't know. It wasn't no daddy long legs.
If it's got
Jeez.
fur.
There's a brown recluse.
Oh, yeah.
So when you ask, how did I get out?
Yeah.
As soon as I got those lines up to them, that 15-minute crawl took me about 10 seconds to
Yeah.
get back.
Did it?
I was scared out of my mind.
That some people could not do that.
Oh my God.
That is
That's like
all in the
what's
quest
what's
for
the
draft
show,
beer.
Fear Factor.
Yeah.
That's
It
it.
could have been a good episode for
Yeah.
Fear Factor.
Wasn't
You
Joe
conquered
Rogan
your
Fear
fear.
Factor?
Yeah.
Are you still afraid of them?
I'm not really afraid of spiders.
You're afraid of crawling through.
I'm
the net?
afraid of thousands of them surrounding me when I can't brush them off because
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah, I
move.
agree.
I think that's valid.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I
Fear Factor is
I
back.
don't want to go through them, but I mean, they're okay if it's right there. I'm fine.
Right.
I mean, I don't love them.
Yeah,
they
I
don't
don't
bother
love
me
them.
like
when you
they
can't
used to.
defend yourself, if one jumps
Yeah.
on you, like if one jumps on me, I want to get it off.
Yeah, I agree with that
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's a natural.
But
sort of
I
thing.
think that was my worst install.
I had to do a crawl at a place was called Coyote Joe's. It's out next to a river, and the river would rise and
Oof.
flood the whole thing, and then go down. And the guy called. We put a liquor system in.
Okay.
We put a big beer system in, and we put a liquor system in. The guy called and said, "I lost like 3 of my manifolds are empty for my liquor, and I don't.
What happened?
Where's it at?"
Mm.
So it was like this time of the year, so everything was frozen.
Oh boy.
And in my head, I'm like, when we did the job, it was warm, and there's raccoons and all kinds of critters and mud and
Oh, God.
nastiness under there. So it was real nasty. And I'm like, and your dad said, "Can you go check it out?" So we go out there, and I'm like, "That's frozen,
What can you do?
no big deal.
It was a patio bar.
It's frozen. I got no problem going under there, So get down, put some cardboard and stuff down to get under, start scooching under the building, and I'm scooching up, and I'm looking, and where the lines are, I'm like, well, I could see it's wet up there, so that's where all the liquor is dumped. And as I put my light up, I keep moving. It was like 7 million mice. Just going everywhere.
Going to town.
They chewed their way through all that stuff. I just put 2 hands back, scooch back out, and I told the
That
owner.
ain't getting done
I told
today.
the owner. I said, "Get the mice out of there, and I'll fix all your problems down there."
Jeez.
Oh my god.
Drunk mice.
There
Well-
was 100.
Oh.
Oh.
I mean, 7 million was an oversight.
or an over exaggeration.
Probably 100.
Is the New York City of
Yeah,
mice.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there's probably 100 for sure.
And so, just to explain, all these beverages are going through dispense lines. The dispense lines are a series of little tubes wrapped in various levels of insulation. And so, when that happens, you can make them travel remotely from the keg or a manifold, which you mentioned, which was for our Berg liquor control systems.
Right.
The manifold itself, well, it's like a vessel for the liquor to get poured into, right?
Yeah,
But
it's just a reservoir. Yeah.
it's a reservoir. And so I actually met somebody, her name's Terry Sokolis, and she owns a beer distributorship called Elite Distributing in Colorado. And her dad used to own a bowling alley, and they had an old ABC system. And
Oh my gosh.
he'd lock them in there as kids, and they'd fill up the manifolds on the ABC system. And so the funny thing is, it's like I thought we were the only ones that had to do that stuff. And then I met Terry, and she like owns a beer distributorship, and I'm like, maybe child labor is not bad.
Oh my
Maybe
gosh.
it's a good thing.
Those ABC systems were They were enormous and complicated.
It was about 100 tiny little lines running into it.
Yeah.
So I recall those being like ginormous caskets. They were huge.
Well, it kind of mounted into a bar.
Manifold. Yeah, it had a giant manifold that was mounted to the bar, and you'd get everything out of it. You'd get
soda,
mixed drinks. If you wanted a Coke, you hit the button for a Coke. If you wanted a Jack and Coke, you hit the button for Jack and Coke. Everything was dispensed through this system.
Yeah.
Did you service those?
No.
Those have been gone for a long time.
It's been gone for a long time. I haven't seen them in a number of years.
I don't even know if when we really got going, if they were still making them. They were just maintaining them.
I think it was the end of the road for them, for sure. But they were enormous.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
They were mostly in bowling alleys.
Yeah. Oh, well, bowling alleys were big
that was a big thing in Detroit.
For everything we did. And also one of our annual vacation, the Bowling Proprietors Show. That was Sophia. When we had Sophia, that was the first vacation.
Shanty Creek, Michigan.
Shanty Creek. And we still take the kids up there to this day. We're going next week to Boyne. But we went to Shanty Creek and went sledding not that long ago. That was so fun.
We were the only ones out there.
It was so cold. Again, back to everything being cold. But that's interesting because that kind of spurs on another question. I don't want to give too many horror stories, but that would be fun to have people send in their worst stories.
Yeah, for sure.
And so
everybody's got them.
And that's the thing. And so what the hell keeps us coming back?
Well, there are good stories. You do complete nice projects in timely fashions. Everything works out well. Yeah.
Then you take a photo.
Well, you take a photo when it's done, but there are stuff that just sticks in your mind where you're like, why am I even doing this?
Yes. I guess that's every job, right?
True.
Yeah, I don't think that's unique to beverage, but I would say that on average, I think that we have more fun than most industries. Our trade
we
shows
moved down
rock.
to Florida for a reason, because it got dangerous up in Detroit.
Oh, okay. So does that bring us to a couple Liquor Man stories?
Maybe. I just thought it was time to get out of town.
Well, let's talk a little bit.
His name was on some little. Actually, there's another thing about the old man getting on the wrong list.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But you had a series of very interesting clients. Some unfortunately passed.
Yeah, a lot of them did. I would sell down in Detroit, as you guys know.
Where the city buses didn't go.
Yeah, but no one would compete with us. We were the only ones. And these guys needed the Berg liquor control because people were giving out Remy Exos for a $5 tip and stuff like that. And it just got a little ridiculous. And they would call me in and Chuck would introduce me to one. And then after that, they would get in the car with me and say, oh, you got to take the Berg system down here because all my waitresses quit and they all went to work over at Cleo's place.
Yeah.
I'd follow them around and a lot of great stories, great people.
Great people.
Yeah, just respect.
Yeah, that
Glad
was a fun,
we were
that
down
was a fun
there.
time.
Well, also
it was
a fun time.
The appreciation parties they would have because we'd go back down and like party with
We'd
them.
go down till like 1:00 and they'd walk us out with, they were armed to make sure we got in our car and we were safe getting out.
Detroit was crazy at those times.
It's not the Detroit of today.
Well,
who knows?
I was going to.
No, it's not.
Well, most of them are dead, so I know it can't be there.
I mean, I was going to the University of Detroit while you were doing that.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was a rough area. And there's another podcast I listened to called The Connect.
Okay.
And what hooked me up on it was a guy that was the crack kingpin of Detroit, basically. And he grew up. We were only about 6 months difference in age.
Was he a beverage man?
No.
Then what are we talking about?
But he ran the crack business around the University of Detroit while I was going to school there.
No.
And it's like, now he's reformed, he spent time in prison and he's a great guy trying to help troubled youth get out of trouble.
Sounds like a great guy.
But it's just when you hear, he was started in the business when he was like 12. No, it's just, we led these parallel existences. And when you see him today, you're like, I'm like, this guy's a lot smarter than me. And he went through that.
Yeah.
Because he had no opportunities.
Child labor.
In Detroit.
Yeah.
I mean,
somebody got a hold of him. Yeah. And isn't that kind of the story of 50 Cent too?
Well, yeah.
He was dealing.
He was a drug dealer.
He was,
yeah.
Same.
I guess. I don't
same thing.
I mean, a lot of people that came up through the city, that was their opportunity. When manufacturing,
I wish I would've done that for part time and pick up maybe 150 grand
Some
or something and
incremental
then get out.
income, Jim. If that were the case, you probably wouldn't be here with us on the couch today.
But if I just did it part time and made 5-10 grand here and there,
Guess what? That is the pitfall.
I don't think it goes that
I didn't
way.
do it.
You don't get to walk away from that
That's
business.
why I didn't do it.
Yeah.
I thought about it.
Well-
I'm not smart enough actually to do it.
Well, I'm not going to say that, but that's another conversation. But that comes back to what happened kind of with some of the clients that Drew was working with that had restaurants and, all those types of things.
I would go in and I'd install the Berg system, and we had comm lines we had to run through. In this one place, he actually locked me in his office.
That's a communication line for anybody who's listening
Yeah.
for the electronic.
And it would go to a
computers.
computer, so you could get the reports on your computer. But he didn't know what a mouse was, and he had it down as a foot pedal. And I'm like, no, this goes up here.
Like a sewing machine.
And then he called me
story.
one time and said, oh, God, my screen keeps flipping and flipping. He had a stack of money on top of the escape key. And he had AKs all around his office.
Is that the one that had the alligator shoes in the ceiling?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes. He would wear a
He'd wear-
suit for one time and throw them all up in the
Yeah.
Yeah.
ceiling.
Peach colored hat, suit, shoes.
What a
So-
great guy, though.
Don't
Kind of
knock
like
the
your
peach.
shirt.
Don't knock the
I'm not
peach.
knocking it. He looks sharp.
No,
so
he had
do
a
you.
peach outfit that made me
Yeah.
think of it.
But he was head to toe.
Yeah, head to
Head
toe.
to toe.
The
With
But
the
he'd
fedora.
get in my car and
rest
he'd
of the
drive me
outfit is
around.
back at home. You'll see it at dinner tonight.
So one of the great things about the bar business and the bar and restaurant business is anyone can open one.
Yeah, they're characters. They are characters.
Yeah.
And you talking about the mouse as the foot pedal
Yeah.
reminds me of a liquor install that I did at a factory bar down in Detroit. All the houses had been plowed over. There was a car factory and there was this bar.
Yeah.
I don't even remember the name of it. And I had to train these guys how to run their reports. They were from, I believe, the hills of Tennessee or Kentucky. Nice guys.
Yeah, I know exactly. I know what you're talking
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it. Their bartender was BJ.
Yeah.
So nice guys, and I'm showing them, okay, got it all installed, got it all calibrated. Let me show you how to run the reports. And I'm doing everything on the keyboard and it's obviously happening on a screen. I'm like, why are they staring at my fingers and not looking at the screen? And they're like, can you do that again? I'm like, yeah, da-da-da, do it. And I'm like, all right, that's how you do it. They're like, okay, we think we got it after I did it like 4 times. Next time I come back there for a service call, it's like hieroglyphics all over the keyboard. They're both illiterate. So they know their numbers and they just numbered my keystrokes on how to run their reports. And that's how they manage their money in the bar. And they were a very successful
And
business.
they made it, yeah.
Yeah, they were very
So,
successful.
I mean, we had a number of people that could not read that we serviced, Malacca being one, where I
Yeah.
would go and do the collections.
You had
and
to sign his checks, too.
I would go and I would sign.
didn't know how to
he
write.
could read, not English.
Right.
Yeah.
He was,
Yeah.
Exactly.
But he was
So-
successful for what, 50
Oh.
years?
Oh,
a
God,
long
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because I was at I think it was the Next Gen conference recently, and I always tell the programmers when we're working on stuff on the app, my technicians are not great readers sometimes, and I don't notice a lot of things, but 51% of people are subliterate that are working more entry level jobs.
yeah.
It does not mean they're not intelligent.
No, it
They're
just means
they've-
someone gave up on them early.
Someone gave, and so they have developed all these other mechanisms to work around having that skill.
Yeah.
They've developed other skills. They've adapted.
I mean, you had a technician you taught how to use your app.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
flew out.
He was there.
Yeah.
He was worried about getting fired because he
Oh,
couldn't
my
read.
God.
And you
That makes
you're
me
like-
wonder what percent I fall.
And you
when
told
say
his
Yeah, I
boss, he's great. He's got great work ethic. We
Yeah.
just got to make
And
sure
the customers all loved him, hugs them on the way in.
Yeah.
You know,
Once
The
again,
service lane
yeah.
is the sales lane.
Yeah, he's
Our
out there
tech-
just getting
Yeah.
it done, taking care of
and people love him.
and
Yeah,
everybody's hugging them when
And
they.
that's what counts in the business is just take care of the customer and make sure things are right and make sure it's done and do what you say you're going to do and
delivering.
deliver. Yeah.
Now
deliver.
since we're going down on, is the customer ever wrong?
When you get home, yeah. When you're in front of the guy, no. Whatever you want, man.
I walked into one of our clients down in a bad area in Detroit, and the owner dressed in whole white suit, head to toe. he's yelling at his bouncer, and his bouncer's like 6'7", huge guy. And the bouncer's yelling back, and I walk in, and back then I'd wear a gray turtleneck, black long coat, drove a BMW, and
the opposite of gangster.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. But I had to look a bit because apparently the 8-ball was stolen, and they were all pissed off because you got to buy a whole new set of balls.
Oh, on the pool table.
yeah,
On their pool table.
Yeah, yeah. And this guy had been shot at and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. You got to buy a whole new set. The bouncer, who's like 5 times my size, I think has 150 pounds, 6 foot. And he says, send Drew over there. They knew who stole it.
Oh, it was a rival.
Well, I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, if a guy looking like you, dressed like that, driving a car like that, shows up to your front door and you ask him for the 8-ball, he's going to give you the damn 8-ball. Because he knows you're not there by mistake.
Yeah.
You're going to take him out. It's just some crazy story.
Did you go?
No, hell no.
Yeah,
That was one of my good decisions, but my customer didn't have my best interest in it.
No, he didn't care.
Yeah.
You know what he wanted? His 8-ball back.
Yeah, he
You
wanted
just
his
wanted the
8-ball.
8-ball
He didn't
back.
care if Drew came back. He wanted,
Right.
I got to buy a whole new set of balls.
It was actually
He was a great guy.
shortly thereafter you came home one night and said, we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had just had Sophia and it was
Those
like
guys
time.
were all, I mean,
Well,
yeah,
most of
you
them were
talk about a
shot.
cast
His
of
dad was killed.
Yeah.
He was shot.
Yeah, there was a
The other
guy-
gentleman was paralyzed by gunshots.
all of them had somebody killed in their restaurant.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It truly is a different world there now.
That's so
You
good.
do hear about it once in a while, but not like it was. I mean, it
Wallpaper
was-
Magazine just nominated, I guess you call it nominated, Detroit as their city of the year.
Yeah.
And they
Wow.
said there's so many things going on there now
It's
with,
if you guys went and drove around the whole city, you just would not even believe it. Like even the areas that were neighborhoods that they talk about that the neighborhoods are blown out and the neighborhood, everything's happening downtown. But if you go out, if you start heading out into neighborhoods out of downtown, they're ripe for development.
wow.
Have they
They're
knocked
ready.
down a lot of homes?
Yeah.
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 I did.
Well,
You
okay.
start heading out, say like you start heading out Kirchville towards where I used to live.
Yeah.
It's fields, infrastructure's there. It's only going to take one guy to pop a sub in, and
Right.
then it's going to take off.
They also said on that Wallpaper Magazine thing that popped up on my Instagram that, we were a part of the flow of people coming out in
Yeah.
the 80s of the city. Last year, the population actually bounced by about 13,000. So it's just interesting to see people are moving back. I mean,
Yeah.
there's still challenges, I think, grocery stores,
yeah. I mean,
all those.
Well, it was built
It's not-
before COVID, too. I mean, what the great restaurants like Roast and stuff, those were,
yeah.
high-flying places.
like the is it the Book Cadillac Hotel?
Book Cadillac just went through a remodel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Roast is gone. There's another steakhouse in there now, but the whole Book Cadillac, which was basically developed around the Super Bowl, which was what 2014.
Oh,
when was
that's
Patrick?
interesting. Yeah.
14. I don't know. Six.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think
six,
that's right.
2014.
Same thing.
I
Same
think of
thing.
it every
It's only
time I
8 years,
drive
9
under
years
those
now. I don't know.
footballs going from
But
the
anyway,
airport into town.
around the Super Bowl, like the Book
Yeah.
Cadillac was developed and reopened, and Roast was at, and it has now gone through a whole remodel. Since-
Amazing.
Yeah, and it's beautiful.
Well, that's Dan Gilbert, right?
No, Book's not Dan.
Oh, it is.
No, but he's
Owner of
responsible.
CompuWare,
Yeah.
right?
He's
But
responsible.
we've
for
had
almost
not
everything down
CompuWare. He's
What's
Quicken
he own?
Loans,
Quicken Loans. Dan Gilbert
No,
from Quicken
he
Loans.
owns
Rocket Mortgage.
Rocket Mortgage.
That's-
Oh,
Well-
I'm getting it all wrong.
When we were there, there were just a couple of people hanging on for dear life to try and keep it downtown. It was the Illiches with
Yeah.
the Fox Theater and the Forbes family with the State Theater.
Yeah.
and that's it.
And the
Everything
Gem
else was
Theater. Everything
destroyed.
else was gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's destroyed.
Those were some interesting
I
jobs.
drive people around, and I'll say, now look around here, and everything here was shuttered
Yeah.
and abandoned. Everything. Do you remember that Bookies job? I don't know if you remember that or not.
Bookies.
Bookies. It was the only thing that was open. And that whole thing. So that whole building is.
Did
now
they have
vacant.
Wow.
live
It is.
bands? 'Cause that
No,
sounds
you're
familiar.
thinking of
Silver Dollar
your Bookies. You're thinking of the one on. Yeah, I know who you're
or
talking
Gold
about,
Dollar.
on McNichols.
Okay.
I can't
So-
think of the name, but I know who you're thinking of though.
When we was it the State Theater or the Fox Theater when we were working and we had to go up over that dome? State Theater, and we found the time capsules basically.
Time capsules.
Yeah, we found newspapers, lunch boxes from the guys that were working there 80 years before.
Other technicians.
Yeah, other technicians.
Yeah, so we had to come out of the.
They were afraid of the spiders.
No, it was good there. No spiders.
There was no spiders there. It was kind of scary getting up there because you're way up there. But we had to come out of the basement and go up a steam shaft or something, all the way up into basically into the dome of the theater. And you had to go over the top of the dome. When you went over the top of the dome and you got to the other side, it was like a break area for.
Wow.
It was like
for like the plaster guys or something.
Yeah.
There's a chair.
It was like real tin cans.
1923 newspapers sitting down there.
Really?
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah,
that's so interesting.
So that was, that was like their break area.
Oh,
And
that's
I
crazy.
can't remember if it was the Fox or the State. One of my first jobs with you. And you
I know what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say.
Oh my God.
I know what you're going to say.
And I almost lost my balls on like iron hanging out. I was like, oh shit, what'd you send me in?
I think that might be the thing that endeared me most to you.
He actually did it
Because he was in his
gray
alligator
turtleneck,
No,
his
no,
BMW.
alligator. Yeah, right.
alligator shirt,
No.
nice jeans,
Don't even-
docksiders. And I had to, I said, all right, you just got to go in there, scooch across and grab it. And he started scurrying up there, and I picked his ankles up.
Yeah.
And I told him, I go, get going, scooch in there.
Is this the life of a beverage man or the flying Walendas?
No,
Like,
it's,
can't
I mean,
decide.
it's, if you're in a town with old buildings,
Yeah.
you got to do crazy shit
Oh, yeah.
to get jobs done
to get the jobs done.
because it wasn't built for it. You know, now if it's new construction, there's a chase designed into
prepping
it.
for it.
Yeah, they're prepped. Now, but that can be an issue too. One of the worst days in a beverage man's life is when they've got a 100-foot run underground. You don't know how many turns are in the chase. You've got the trunk line hooked up to a winch and you're dragging that thing up and you can see it at the bottom bend and it breaks off.
So a winch
That
is
was
basically like a machine that's helping, especially if there's some line with copper in it.
Well, now they have electric ones. We
Was
had a
that
hand one.
Hornfield?
No, we
No,
ended
I
up
think,
with
did
a
we do that at Big Buck Brewery? Did we break off?
No, you broke up at
that was
the
at
stadium, right? You had like a 1,400-foot line.
Well, stadium, we had all the we ended up with the Greenlee tugger and all the mechanic.
Right.
We had all the proper stuff.
Yeah.
by that
Well,
time.
yeah.
You snapped.
I mean, that's one of the funny things is beverage men don't start with all the right equipment.
No.
never, never. You're always under resourced.
Yeah, yeah.
Like to the extreme. And
So
let me
the
tell
one
you,
you're
especially in
thinking of, I think,
Detroit.
might be local color. In Nova.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that
We
was a
snapped
great
off.
account.
Paisley
We
was-
snapped off. Yeah, you knew the guy.
Yeah.
We snapped off, and then I can't remember how we reattached, but we somehow reattached.
Well, we had to ruin it
and the guy
to drag it out.
pulled his high-low in. And lifted it up. Oh, that was lifting it out. That was pulling it out with his high-low.
Right. I
Yeah.
think that was
And then
after
torched
because
the whole trunk line.
we had to destroy it to pull it back out because we had to wrap the cable around it, pull it 6 feet,
Yeah.
bring the cable down. So we kinked all the lines to get it out. It was a
No.
I don't think I was on that one. I think that Phil was running that one.
Yeah, it wasn't
Nice
me.
job.
It wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
I don't know.
That guy worked for us for a while too. Wasn't me.
Who?
Wasn't me.
Oh.
Anytime you ask somebody who did that, wasn't me.
Yeah.
He was on the payroll. Wasn't me. Was on the payroll for sure. Wasn't me.
That wasn't my line. Mine was that ain't happening today.
No,
Yeah.
that ain't happening
2
today.
o'clock, light rain. That ain't getting done today.
No, it had nothing to do with that. My dad was always ambitious with his vision of what we could accomplish.
Well,
That's true.
showing up at 2 o'clock, calling it at 2:05.
We
What
wouldn't
was
call that ambitious.
Barnstormers? That
I
was
mean, you
like-
want me to say the story or not?
yeah, tell them because
Tell us
The
the
place
story.
was,
Yeah.
I don't know, like a 45-minute drive out to where we had to
Yeah.
go. We all load up, and we're all a little bit sketchy about going out there because it wasn't snowing yet. It was calling for snow.
yeah, I think it was a hard, cold drizzle. At that
Yeah, I
point.
wasn't
Yeah.
doing anything really yet. And then we drove all the way out there, unloaded the truck. And
What
it
was
sta-
the place?
And the snow's
Was it
coming down. It was Barnstorm.
Okay.
In Pinckney. So snow starts coming down. I don't know. We worked for 18, 19 minutes. This is done. We're done. We can't. We got to get back to the barn. Snow's coming down. I don't know where. I'm not going to spend 4 or 5 hours on the road. It's time to go.
So
Got to beat rush hour.
I have very mixed feelings about that place in general.
Oh, about the place.
Because they were some characters.
Oh, characters.
The brothers that ran it always screaming at each other.
Isn't that
Lisa is
wrong?
he's a patient of Lisa's.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Rob,
we
Robbie.
can't. That's HIPAA.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. I didn't mean Lisa. I meant
Lorenzo.
Lorenzo.
But they always were hiring my dad to do something, and they always wanted to pay with barter dollars.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
they did all
God, I
our
remember.
graduation parties.
Yeah.
The bartering for, hey, come see a show at Andiamo's. How many
Oh
shows?
my God.
The silver
Oh,
platters.
Yeah.
The Shanana. How many shows?
What about
did
the
we see?
fabulous Shintas?
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
that's what I was trying to think of.
And let me ask this question. I've never
And
figured it out.
What was the?
How are the Shintas fabulous? I don't know. Where
The
did they
one
come
Shinta's
from?
dead. I just heard
Oh,
him
no.
on the. He was interviewed the other day. The one brother is now with his daughter. They have a Vegas tour, and
Oh wow!
the
No.
one brother died.
Not wow.
So
The tour-
The tour is the Andiamo's restaurant
I
in
know,
Vegas.
in Las Vegas.
Oh, I didn't think about
That's
that.
true.
Maybe they have-
Yes.
That's exactly what
It's
it
so
is.
funny because Sean Fadden always says, I had the best dinner of my life with your mom and dad at Andiamo's in Vegas.
What was the chef's name at Andiamo's? That old
Aldo.
guy. Aldo.
Oh,
Yeah,
Aldo.
yeah. That guy ran that place forever.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
that's
probably still
great.
there.
Oh, it was great
Downtown and the
food.
waterfront.
It is good food. Yeah.
We were there for the fireworks. And
Yeah.
people were shooting guns out in the back.
Yeah,
and
they
they
were
jumped
shooting
over
right
into
out front. Remember, they all
Andiamo's.
jumped in.
Well,
And
you
we had
had
to run out.
I was
your-
like, we're giving Sophia the true Detroit.
That
your
was-
buddy Sean that
Detroit
took a
Inspired.
bullet hole in his Miata on New Year's Eve.
Oh, did he?
Oh my
You don't
God.
remember that?
Mm-mm.
Sean from the Town Pump.
Yeah,
Tavern.
back in the day when they would just fire guns in the air, he had a bullet hole in the back of his car from
That
it.
Oh,
that
geez.
is my demo account every day, the Town Pump Tavern. We
Yeah.
had some good times
Yeah.
at that place.
If you're out there, Sean, look us up. Relive the old days.
Yeah, for sure. So has anything changed, Jim?
As far as what?
As far as beverage, being a beverage man in
Well-
Detroit, is it still the same? I mean, the technology.
Work is still the same. I mean, as far as what you do is still the same thing, but
The mechanics.
the process is. I mean, the equipment's better.
Yeah.
All of the equipment is better.
Dispense,
Everything's
flavor.
better.
One thing,
Materials. I would say the biggest for the beer industry, the biggest thing from the time I've been in the business, the biggest improvement is eliminating air compressors.
Oh, that's
just going to all
blended gas.
Blended gas, yeah.
You know-
that was such a
So,
huge improvement.
I was thinking about that as we were talking about problem accounts. If you put the air compressor in the wrong area that had too much kitchen odor, it would taint the beer.
It's anywhere you put. Yeah, I mean, when you look back,
Yeah.
everything, a lot of stuff got passed by because everybody had an air
Right.
compressor,
Right.
So you just passed it by. Okay, well, you have a bad regulator, or you have a funky keg, or you have whatever. It's the air compressor causing
Pulling in
issues.
So-
contaminants. Yeah.
Peter, my mentor, like years ago when he was in New York, said he went into this bar and they kept complaining that it tasted like exhaust or gasoline. And the air compressor was mounted right by the bus stop.
No.
And so he said every time the air
Pumping this-
compressor
Nasty.
Right.
would kick off,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
but they don't do that so much anymore.
Well,
Yeah.
one of
Really?
the,
They're still
Insulated?
out there. They're out there somewhere, but it's
Yeah.
very little.
it's a little thing, but when we toured the Micromatic factory a few years ago, and they have the stainless line coming down from the tower now, and it has a conical fitting on the end to make it easier to put the lines on. I mean, to me, I was like, God, if they could have done that, because you're always laying under a bar, hands over your head, in a weird position, doing those
Yeah.
things, and a little thing like that makes a difference.
Well,
I don't care about the conical fitting.
Really?
really doesn't bug you.
Well, I had
Doesn't
the
bother me.
grip of a 6-year-old girl, so
It's true. It's true.
So
The thing that's nice about that is that conical fitting accepts multiple sizes of tube.
different tubing.
So you
yeah,
don't have
you
to-
can have different
Yeah,
restrictor
it doesn't
tubing.
matter. Yeah,
oh, that's interesting.
that is nice.
Do you still do liquor installs at all?
Zero.
Yeah, so you're
Yeah.
pretty much soda, beer.
Right now, I do beer and yeah, a little bit of soda here.
Yeah.
I don't do too much soda anymore.
Well, that's always funny because that always goes up and down if the bottlers decide to outsource it or have their own crews.
They pulled all that back in our market. They pulled it all back in house
Again.
So there's no subcontractors anymore.
For the fourth time.
It's cyclical for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Well, they're doing that with Pepsi now. So they said Coke went through and they call it refranchising.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. They pulled it back in. Now it's out. And then Pepsi's doing the same thing. It was like a 10-year process. And it was funny because I came back from Beer Business Daily and my dad goes, yeah, they've done that a bunch of times. And I'm like, oh, it's all a cycle.
Oh, it's a cycle for sure. If you've been in it long enough, you'll see one guy rises, one guy falls. Now they've got budget. They rise. This guy falls. And, hang on.
Yeah.
5 years, you'll be back. If you can hang on for 5 years.
Back
you'll
on
be
easy
fine.
street.
Yeah, right.
So, Jen and I talk about this all the time. We listen to all kinds of different stuff and we're in the office together every day. So the godfather of AI, I saw him being interviewed. And I think it was on the Diary of a CEO podcast. And you always remember his name. I never do. Jeffrey Hinton. So the guy's asking him, he's like, you see what's happening with AI. It's exploding. It's this, it's that. They're talking about all the jobs it's going to take. If you're a young person or if you're giving advice to a young person, what do you tell them so they can survive? He's like, be a plumber.
Be a plumber.
And I'm like, well, we're the plumbers of the beverage industry.
Oh,
Right.
for sure.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of a job that's never going to go away.
I was telling Jen that it's, we're talking about a little bit last night, and it's a bastard industry.
Yeah.
It's just, you need to know a little bit about everything.
Yeah. Jack of all trades.
And you need to, you need to figure, am I here just making sure the liquid gets from here to there? No, I got to make sure it's cold enough, and I got to make sure that it's pressured properly. I got to make sure that it's got the right blend, and I got to make sure, you
might have to do a little electrical work.
We call that dynamic. It's dynamic.
It is dynamic. Yeah, I agree. But so, there's nobody's gonna, to actually do that, there's nobody. So you're not gonna program that away.
When you and I were coming up, we were
true.
the young guys in the business. I left it for quite a while and now I'm on the peripheral of it. Do you see the next generation coming up, or is it all the old dogs still getting the work done?
There's younger people in the business. Like in our area, there are younger people in the business. There's not young guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to get a helper, not so easy.
No.
Yeah. I think, I look back and it's because people, in my opinion, were sold a bill of goods on everyone needs to go to college. Everyone should be a lawyer. Everyone should be a doctor. Now those are going to be the things replaced by AI. And
they are, but it's that I don't agree with that whole, everybody's sold a bill of goods on college. I didn't go to college and I wouldn't accept if my kids didn't go to college.
Really?
Thank you.
Same here.
Need to be educated. It teaches you more than just going to school. And
no,
it teaches
absolutely.
you how to live. It teaches you how to think. And I just wouldn't accept it for my kids.
Yeah.
But that being said, not everybody has to go to college.
Right. There's other ways.
Yeah. Right.
Now it can be school of hard knocks.
Yeah,
it can be. And there's a lot of
preferred.
people that, you have no choice and you go out and you choose to learn and you choose to do, and because you need to make something, and whatever you're taught at a very young age, you learn how to do it, and you go out and you're going to excel at whatever you do, whether it's washing a car or putting a beer system in or whatever, because you need to survive and you need to do what you need to do. But the whole, getting back to AI, the physical jobs in the world still need to be.
They're not going away.
They still need to be done.
Yeah.
I think you bring up another point too, and it's the work ethic that we had back in the day in Detroit that I think was instilled by my dad. I feel like it was that way, is that anything you do, you got to do it well.
Yeah.
And if you can't get something done the first time, how are you going to have time to do it the second time? So you want to make sure that you take pride in your work, and being from Detroit, having the grit, we were can do. We just got it done. Who was the best technician that you ever worked with?
As far
Technically.
as quality installs?
Yeah. Aside from yourself.
It's got to be Mike Wojtowicz.
It was.
Stop it. Mike W.
Yeah.
He's one of the best.
Hard worker.
He was.
Did fantastic quality work. Cared about what he did.
The Polish mentality.
Well, when we had at my dad's company, when we had you and him, we had the two best installers in town.
That was it.
Well, I appreciate that comment. I think 50% of that is correct. I'm not going to say which 50%.
But, you know,
That's interesting.
It was a good crew.
we had a good
It was
crew,
a good
yeah.
crew, and everything gelled and worked really well at the time. I mean,
Yeah.
we were all at ages where, we're at ages where we needed to make things work.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
totally true.
We weren't at ages where,
That's
it's time
true.
to play around. We were at ages where it's time to work.
You do have to get, I was still at the play around age. That's why I was the problem child of the, but
Yeah. Can
Well,
I
we
ask?
appreciated you working out the communication errors.
yeah, I was the communication error guy.
So let me ask, why did you have to get back from Barnstormers that day?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, that was the only time he did that?
Not the.
I always had an excuse.
Oh, yeah.
And we weren't arguing.
Yeah.
It's the
No.
boss's son.
Hey, well, okay. Well,
Yeah.
it's time to go.
Time to go.
So he said it's time to go.
I mean, that was always a weird dynamic, but you guys really, for me, made it pretty easy because, yeah, I was the boss's kid. You guys could have just,
I'll be honest with you. I tried to make you not the boss's kid, but sometimes I was like, he said it. Let's go.
but I never felt like, you were a good leader for me because I didn't know what I was doing. You know?
We're not going to say that this was like a Nepo baby type situation, Brooklyn Beckham.
Oh,
No
I think
way.
it was as far from a Nepo baby.
I know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was the one that got sent in the spider's lair.
He got his ass whipped
Exactly.
by his father when he got home, I'm for sure. you took 3 men off the job and sent them home? Yeah, I did, Dad. I needed to get
I am lucky that his
You worked 19 minutes.
his hothead reputation days had passed him by the time I was on the job because I definitely did some shit he should have blown up about and didn't.
I did some stuff he should have probably killed me over too, but you know what?
Yeah.
Maybe when you rear-ended him.
Well, yeah, that was on the way to Pampa Lanes. I was in college.
What about the time when you electrocuted?
Both. So I was a little younger on that one because
Yeah.
I don't think
You
I
ever
could
hear that
drive
one?
yet.
No.
It's almost the best story.
Was it in
So
Inkster?
we were installing an ice machine.
Where?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
But I just remember I was in that phase where I would ride with him to a job with headphones on, listening to music, not talking
You're
in the whole
probably
way.
still in high school.
I was probably like a junior in high
This
school.
is my life now. with
So I was
my
probably,
kids.
I was probably a sophomore. I was probably 15, 16, somewhere in there.
You had a Walkman?
Well, we go to install an ice machine. And again, it was pretty daring to get on the other side of an ice machine with a teenager because you're not reliable to hold your end and not drop it on his fingers and all
Right.
this and all that. But we got the ice machine up and, they came without a cord. You had to install a cord. He's like, I'm sitting there ignoring him, listening to my music. He's like, hey, see if this cord reaches that outlet. I don't even look. I just plug it in. He's got the bare wires in his hand. All I hear is,
wanted to
pow! I'm like, oh, shit.
And did it pop him back?
Oh, it's that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it popped the breaker and it left a nice, char spread in his
Oh,
hand.
God.
I was like, oh, sorry, man.
And did he say anything?
He didn't blow up.
Well, because you
Hey, he was
shocked him.
almost dead.
You gave him electric
He was
shock-
probably only
shock
partially
treatment.
I
conscious.
think that was the second that he gave up blowing up at everybody. Phil shocked.
Electroshock
So what?
therapy.
He's like, you know what? I'm mellow now.
So then the Pampa Lanes trip story. Again, undersourced beverage company.
Yeah.
We had a couple of
They all are, by the way.
Toyota pickups with 180,000 miles each. And I would follow him on these jobs overloaded with gear. I'd have Datsun, it's before it even became Nissan.
Datsun,
It said
yeah.
Datsun. And I would just have that imprinted in my head because I'm staring white truck with red lettering and I'm following it for hours. And you've ridden around with our dad. Green means go, red means stop, yellow means go faster.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm following him down. What is it? DeQuinder? No, Van Dyke.
Van Dyke.
I'm following him down Van Dyke. 2 trucks loaded up. I'm an idiot. I'm bad with directions. So I always had to stay on his tail or I wouldn't know how to get where we're going. So light turns yellow. I'm like, that means go faster. I'm watching the light. I hit the gas. He hits the brakes and I push him right through the intersection. And I'm like, oh no. I am ready for him to just tear into me. I'm in college at this point, I think. I'm just ready for him to tear into me. And we get there. He's like, so what's going on? I'm like, I almost just killed you. And he didn't even get mad. I'm like, wow, he's a changed man.
He was proud of you going through.
That was after you electrocuted him.
That was years. That was a couple years after.
So he was really mellow.
Yeah.
But also having a new driver in the house, that's the great thing about having crappy cars.
Yeah.
Is you don't care if they get scratched up a little bit.
I don't see any crappy
it gives them
cars over
character.
your house.
Wow.
Well, that Datsun, the funny thing about that Datsun pickup, when it had about 250,000 miles on it, and we had stopped giving it oil changes like 30,000 miles ago because we were just waiting for it to die.
No.
Your brother ended up buying that
Was
thing.
that the blue one?
Oh, no, that was the Toyota. He bought the blue one.
Yeah.
It was the one that I hit him with.
No, your dad gave that to me. He's like, I'm like, what are you going to do with it? He goes, well, whatever. Do you want it? I go, yeah, I'll get it out of here.
Yeah.
So I took it out. And then, God, I don't know what happened.
Those things wouldn't
So I'm
die.
in it for zero. Right?
Yeah.
I get it back. And I think I gave it to one of my brothers, and it's just sitting there. And then one of my other brothers needed a vehicle because his car broke. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, give me 500 or something, So he takes it. And years later,
You got it for free, and then you charge your
I made
brother.
500. Yeah.
You were always working side deals.
It was
You're
500.
like, you want to sell those rims?
Is 500 unreasonable? 500?
No.
I mean, it's reasonable.
He always had something for listed in Auto Trader.
Yeah.
Yes, always.
He sold your cars.
Yeah, he
Always.
sold all my cars.
He was like, Joe Dirt was
He
his
said he bought
customer.
my Corolla
Always.
or my what did
Your
I?
Toyota.
Toyota
Corolla.
No, well, she
Yeah.
bought that off of
No,
me.
your Toyota, what was it, Lisa? We just talked
It's the
about
red
it.
one.
Celica.
Celica.
Yeah, that's right. You
And,
beat that one.
And so I don't know, years later, I didn't say anything to anybody. I said something. I go, yeah, I sold that truck for 500 or something like that. And then my brother that I gave it to was like, whoa, what? You gave that to me, and then you said, I go, what, will you want me to give you the 500?
Oh God!
I mean, it's 500, man. Come on.
I know what
I
a
gotta get
family.
something out of it.
They would have done the same thing to you.
Oh, for sure.
Oh God.
They still will.
Yeah, for sure.
So when we were out, and again, I'm just curious how it's different on the road. We used to do like an Applebee's beer system a month. It seemed like maybe every other week for a
Well, that
while.
was when oops, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That's when those things were coming online.
Yeah. Is there any
Those
restaurant chains that are rolling out like that?
Nothing like that.
Yeah.
Nothing like that.
Independence.
It's all independence. Like at the time, those Applebee's. Yeah, we were doing those Applebee's.
We were all the time.
One a month.
Well, you could do two in a day.
If you see ground getting broken, you're like, oh, there's a Home Depot going there. There's going to be an Applebee's,
Yeah.
whatever the other thing in the parking lot. And then, now I don't see that really at all anymore.
And going back to my dad, every time he'd see a permit up in a window somewhere,
He'd stop.
he'd stop, go in. You guys need a beer system, and that's how he got his jobs. I mean, how do beer systems get sold nowadays?
Well, for me, it's pretty much word of mouth.
Yeah, you've been around long enough now.
I've been around long enough now. I mean, that is always a good idea. If you see a dumpster and something happening, to stop in and see. I just don't have.
I always found it amazing that they didn't have that planned before they started building.
A lot of times they do.
Yeah.
A lot of times they do. You go in and nope, we're all set, and you're all set. You haven't started demo yet, right?
Well, that's
so
if they're a
it's
national
all
account.
sold. It's all sold in the package.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's all sold in the package.
Yeah.
But now you could look up online who the new licenses are.
You can look up new licenses. One guy in the business, his brother was a plumbing inspector. So when the plumbing,
Speaking of
when
plumbers.
the thing would
when the
pop
permits go in, yeah.
he'd be like, "Oh, let
Are
me
you
go
gonna
run
be
over
putting-
there. What are you doing? I see you got all new plumbing
Yeah.
is coming, and it would be a remodel or a new place or whatever." He sold a lot.
Was
over
he
the years for
local?
that. He was local. Yeah.
Let's not mention names.
So- When we were there, we were also at the beginning of the craft beer boom.
Yes,
Berkeley front.
that was the first one.
That was the first. It was a 100 faucet system.
I don't know if it was.
I think it
that
was
much.
upstairs and down. I think.
Oh,
it
up
was,
and down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1550.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the very first one. Remember, we're like, how are you gonna? What beer are you?
Right.
put on
Yeah.
that? When we did it,
That-
I'm like, what beers are you? And the guy's like, I'm gonna bring them in from California. He goes, there's breweries out there. And he goes, I'm going to import the stuff from here and there.
And he did.
And he was the first guy to do it. Yeah.
It was a cool place.
In
It
Michigan.
was cool.
Yeah.
In Michigan. Yeah, in our area.
Yeah.
in
So
our
he
area.
had to figure out how to source the craft beer because the distributors didn't.
Well,
even
he was a
have that.
California guy, right? And
his
he was a
dad
chef,
was like the editor of Automobile
Yeah.
Magazine.
and the kid
then-
was a chef.
Yeah.
And he was on the West Coast. So it was booming out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's
I
craft
guess.
breweries everywhere
Yeah.
out there. There was 0 craft breweries in Michigan.
Well, the other boom that we did was the brew pubs where they were going to
lots of
brew,
pubs.
and that just didn't work out because the quality control for 50 different places to brew just their own beer on site didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. But it blew up.
I was surprised that Paisley's place didn't blow up because he was doing
He was
blue.
5 years too early.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he was doing what, vodka or what was?
Well,
it?
he turned
Flavored vodka?
he closed the brewery and turned into a distillery.
Okay,
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it was a great product.
Yeah.
Distilleries are having a hard time right now.
Yeah. Everybody is.
Yeah.
we went through that period though that every system you did was like 20 faucets and up. You don't see that much anymore, do you?
No.
For new installs?
No. Now it's,
6, 8.
16 is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 8.9 is the average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So since
if you
COVID?
total them all up.
It's even
since
after
COVID.
that. You know, I mean, it's only in the last couple of years stuff has really started tailing off.
Really?
Yeah.
I think you can give variety without having a 100 faucet system.
Well, the
Even
other,
on a 50 faucet system, even when it was in the heat of everything, I would tell my customers, I'll sell you anything you want. If you want 100 lines, I'll sell you 100 lines.
yeah.
16 is the sweet spot.
Yeah.
You could cover everything you wanted. And, there's some guys who are like, no, I want 100 no matter what.
yeah,
Mhm.
And then you go and you clean and, okay, there's 30 of them that haven't been changed.
right.
I just-
and the stuff just sits.
I think when you do that, you need an expert like that guy was at Berkeley Front.
Yeah, that dude knew what he was doing.
Too many guys just think that'll be a draw just because,
Right.
and they don't know
Yeah.
how to handle it.
Well, the preventative maintenance aspect does add cost, but again, the payback is huge to retailers that are
Yeah.
handling that. And you also really, draft is meant for products that have a lot of velocity.
Right.
This is not meant for slow movers. Once you tap that keg, I don't know how long it should be on, but
Well, I think
Phil.
if
You
it's
just
on-
reminded me of another one.
If it's on for a week, it should be.
it's
If it's
that's it.
If you got a keg that's on for a week,
That's about it.
think about something that's going to move quicker.
Yeah.
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 So, you talk about preventative maintenance, and I guess we should talk about something like that since that's what we do.
Well, hello.
But
That's why we're here.
Do you know
one of my oddest
You.
one of my oddest service calls was Bo's Brewery. So that's one that we
Pontiac,
installed
Michigan.
where they're gonna brew their own beer, and
He was
we
one of the first ones.
he was
early on.
early for sure.
Nice place too.
They put a lot of money into it.
Yeah.
And when we get the job, we're installing. So, hey, would you like us to maintain your beer lines? Oh no, we're brewmasters. We're going to handle that. Well, we get a service call maybe 6 months after they're open. And my dad sends me again. I'm an idiot. So I'm like, God, when you send me for diagnostics, that's really scary. So I go in to the cooler and I'm like, okay, the keg's hooked up and okay, we got air pressure and all the beers are pouring except this one. I'm like, okay, I go back down to the cooler, check the keg coupler. I switch to a different keg coupler, just again, trying to figure out what could possibly be wrong.
Right.
I'm like, there's nothing. There's like, okay, I'm going to
Nothing.
turn the pressure up. I start cranking the pressure. I'm worried I'm going to explode a line.
Oh yeah.
And I go up, open the faucet, nothing. I'm like, what the heck is going on? I take the faucet off. Nothing. I go down and I turn the pressure. I put the faucet back on. I turn the pressure up like 60 PSI, 70 PSI, way higher than it's supposed to run.
For anybody who's listening, don't ever do that. But
Right.
Yeah.
It was a bad idea. It was a horrible
It's
idea.
supposed to be less than 20, like 16 PSI.
Well, it depends on the system.
If you
but
blend the gas, you can run
certainly
higher.
don't want to be above 50 pounds. You're going to start popping lines and damaging equipment.
Exactly.
Continue. Tell us how much
Tell
higher
us how-
you went.
I think I ended up at 60 to 70 and I was scared. I was waiting to take a beer shower. And I go up after pumping it up 60, 70 pounds and I take the faucet off and like something starts coming out slowly.
Oh, are you
Oh yeah. I remember.
It looked like wet Wonder Bread
yeah.
pushing
Wow.
it. And it was a plug of probably
Unfiltered
yeast.
beer or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Beer
And
does live.
I'm like, I see that start coming out, and I go down and I turn the pressure down because, again, I don't want to take a beer bath. And I go to the guys. I'm like, this is what came out of your beer line. And do you want us to maintain your lines now? They're like, yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Did you get it flowing and it all popped out of there?
Yeah, it all came out, but it was just a plug of yeast that grew behind.
And
the
so what
faucet.
happened once that pushed out? Did it spray everywhere? Or you
I
turned it off?
as I got it coming out, I
caressed it.
I was
Why not?
gentle with it.
Thank
yeah.
you to our beer goddess,
Yes,
my best
thank you.
friend,
Yeah.
Lisa,
Cheers,
and also
Lisa.
Jim's beautiful bride.
But again, it reminds me of when we used to create the clean in place systems too,
Mm-hmm.
and we gave people the option to do their own cleaning. You know, my dad
There
would
were-
send me out.
I mean, that's actually a good thing, but nobody will do it.
Nobody will do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why
that's-
the beer man, the draft tech is so important
I
to
know.
go in. The line cleaner.
Nobody will do it. I mean,
The
beer
you
plumber.
could- that was actually a good idea, I thought.
It was,
But
if they would do it.
no, there's not one person that will.
No.
Yeah.
Breweries
Well-
have guys that'll do it, but just for the average guy, it's a great idea.
It's a big investment too. They're
And
not
they-
cheap. The
Well,
CIP.
the way we did it
the
wasn't
one
that
we
expensive.
developed-
Oh, really?
The one we developed, it was very reasonable, and it would have saved
Thank you.
the guys some money, but they just won't do it because you know what? After we leave and they're operating, and then you just forget about it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
whatever.
And sometimes they think I tried to sell one to a place one time, and they're like, "Oh, we do so much volume, we don't need to clean our lines."
That's another common.
And I'm
So-
like, so they can get. Well, here's the reason it works: the first couple beers out of the night are going to be nasty, but if it's just flowing all night, you're gonna
It's not
get
sitting in
past.
there very long.
So it becomes a throw those, purge the taps, right?
So-
That becomes a bartender
Yeah, it becomes part of your process.
Process.
Throw away the first 2 pints,
Purge the taps when you come in, and
Which
now we
also
can
is a
let it
waste.
which is a waste of
Oh,
product for sure.
Yeah.
It's but again, it's just an organic thing. You gotta play nice with it.
But this is a myth. Let's talk about this beer myth because Dr. Sean from UCF that we've been working on that test with said that it was a common misconception that if your velocity on your beer system is high, that you have to clean less. And he said that the bacteria actually adapts to the environment
I agree.
and becomes more hardy. Phil.
He's a scientist. I'll take his word.
No, right. But
You don't like me saying I agree? I've
Yeah.
seen it firsthand.
Oh, you've
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
you agree.
the bacteria,
it becomes more resistant.
the generations of bacteria, they reproduce, hourly probably. So if it's a high flow environment, it will select for ones that are good at anchoring to that line and will be harder to clean off
Mhm.
because they create a tighter bond to the surface.
And there's just simply more opportunity to bond and to grow.
Yeah.
It's flowing.
Well, you're
Well,
keeping
that's
the
true.
nutrient level up
There,
Yeah.
Oh, so it's almost like regenerating it with nutrients.
Right.
because the bacteria will eventually create enough of its own waste products in a beer line that it will impede its own growth.
Is that what the scale is?
No, calcium oxalate.
Well, no. The sludge that develops, is it like the waste product from the little bacterial
I mean,
cells?
it can be a number of things.
Yeah.
Yeast.
Well, it can be, yeast.
yeast
Yeah.
is
Of course.
what you're probably thinking of.
Yeah.
Calcium oxalate, you wouldn't see it unless you're actually cleaning.
Right.
Mhm.
And it's in a bad
You
form.
can see yeast without cleaning. If you get a glass full of floaties or whatever,
Yeah.
that's yeast breaking off. And that would be in the faucet area.
And can I say again, we should never be seeing that if somebody's on a regular maintenance
No, you
program.
shouldn't. Yeah, I mean, you should never really see it.
And if your refrigeration's in good order, you're cleaning on a 2-week cycle.
You
Brewers
guys-
Association guidelines.
You guys clean lines too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A 2-week cycle, if everybody's on a 2-week cycle, you should never see
You'll
it.
never see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why that's the Brewers Association
Right.
standard. Yeah.
I mean, and again, once you have fouled a beer line, it's so hard to bring it back. Do you remember the Jonathan B. Pub?
Oh my gosh. I was trying to think of the name of those places just the other day. I drove by one that was closed and I'm like, what is the name of that place?
Yeah. In a mall.
So they had
This was a standalone Jonathan
Okay.
B. Pub. Is the
Oh,
only
wow.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean-
there was a lot of them.
12 Oaks Mall, I think in Novi is the one that we had with the problem with the chef that refused to close the cooler door at lunch.
Yeah.
And so it was exposed to too much heat. And the Guinness line it just happened to be the line that was bad. You couldn't see through it. Like if you shine light on it, the walls were caked, and we tried for a couple weeks to flush that line out.
You'll never get that off.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think, Phil?
I mean, if people want Detroit beverage history, they got
We covered
some.
We got a lot more we
Yeah,
can
but we didn't
say
bore
on
you.
the
We
air.
could go on for hours.
Yeah.
Yes, we could. Well, I think that it's an industry I love. I love all you guys. Thank you for joining us today.
I mean, I think
Go for it.
we would like to have people that are in our shoes, have been in our shoes, to send us stories.
For
you know,
sure.
if your story's good enough, let's get you here. Let's get you on a remote. We just want to, kind of build a community for the guys that are out there making it happen.
You want
Absolutely.
stories, anybody who's in our situation is going to say, you think that was bad?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I got worse.
We look forward to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's also interesting for people to know, even if they're doing a job like this that isn't always as glamorous as it could be, but you should take an extra change of clothes in the back of your vehicle at all times. Or
Well,
else,
he needs to do it regardless.
why?
I'm not going into it.
Okay,
Ouch.
let's not. But
Ouch.
just for beer
Well-
spraying or chemical spray, God forbid. But you always
Yeah,
want to make
chemical.
sure.
Yeah. I mean, getting hit with beer and then being out in 90-degree weather,
Yeah.
it re-ferments on your body.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Monday morning, first stop, misconnect something and get showered.
Oh, yeah.
That's an unfortunate.
An unfortunate set of events. Yeah. So, all right. Well, listen. Cheers, guys.
All right.
Cheers.
Hopefully, we don't knock over these microphones.
And leave us the
Thank you
stories
so
in
much.
the comments.
And Lisa, come on over.
Beer-
Cheers.
Our beer lady.
She's so much
Cheers.
more than that.
Cheers. Good job, everybody.
Thank you. Cheers. Love.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right.
Cheers.
We'll
Thank
see you
you.
next time, guys.